Well, my name is Bob Ferry, and I'm here to introduce you to Bob Ferry's Superimposition of Fingerings for Guitar with Robert Denson. This book has revolutionized my teaching curriculum in that for the very first time it teaches arpeggios, chord fingerings, and scales together. Whereas everybody knows before you'd learn your scales, you'd learn your arpeggios as separate things. And then throughout your life, you learn to put them all together. But this is a way of learning them all together from the very beginning. And not only are they together, but they're presented in harmonic context. So in other words, this G7 chord that I'm playing, that can exist in at least 3 or 4 different harmonic settings, different tonalities. The most common is major. Since this G7 chord, and here's the arpeggio, since that chord exists in the key of C as the 5 chord, that means that it goes with the C major scale. So to express the meaning of that chord in the tonality of C, you would play the C major scale within the arpeggio, the G7th arpeggio. Now this describes how melody is made. Add chromaticism and you've got the components of melody. So here, what we do in the superimposition of fingerings is we superimpose the fingerings over one another so that we learn that they go together. So we're going to call this arpeggio the first finger 6th string, dominant 7th arpeggio. Now, that's simply because the root note is underneath the first finger on the 6th string. Now this is obvious to most everybody, but it's never been exploited in this way. This is how we're going to name all of our fingerings. Now remember, I just said that this G7 chord exists within the key of C. So that means we need a C scale in position to go with this chord, this arpeggio. And which one would that be? This one. The fingering that's underneath the first finger on the 5th string. So that means whenever you're in or you're on a G7 chord, the first 6th fingering, you are always in the first 5th fingering for the scale. Now this is huge for guitar playing because this is a movable fingering. It can be played anywhere. If I were to play it here and B flat 7 is my arpeggio, then my scale is E flat. But we wouldn't even need to know that as guitar players. I shouldn't say that. We do need to know that. However, in order to play the fingerings, all we need to know is that for first 6th, dominant 7th, we're in first 5th for E flat. Add a little chromaticism, like I said. You've got all the components for melody. And that's what the superimposition of fingerings is all about. Every diatonic chord is mapped out in this way, in harmonic context.